Dear students, today's topic is advantages of integrated farming system. So before we enter into the advantages of integrated farming system, last class we were discussing about the introduction to integrated farming system and scope of integrated farming system, etc. So there I have given little introduction about the integrated farming system, and also I have differentiated between integrated farming system as well as cropping system, the difference between cropping system and farming system. So here integrated farming system means we are involving different enterprises, and we are doing the farming throughout the year. So if you look at the development of agriculture in earlier days, like last 2 centuries in Western countries, even last 2 decades of our country, tremendous changes are happening. So from organic to inorganic farmers have changed, and also if you look at the fertilizers, how are they using, and also the technology. Earlier we used to use only bullocks. Now we have transformed the technology from bullocks to the machinery. Likewise, so many changes had happened. So because of which the input became so much. That means the cost of cultivation, if you can say in other words, the cost of cultivation increased a lot. For example, if you see this year, by applying different types of fertilizers, maybe SSP, MOP or urea, whatever the fertilizer we are applying, the input cost becoming so much. But in earlier days, no farmer used to apply these all inorganic fertilizers, but they used to go for only organic menus, where they don't spend any money, only transport charges only they will spend from one farm to the other farm. But here we are spending some extra money for the inorganic fertilizers to give enough nutrient into the soil as well as to the crop. So likewise, this is one of the problem. Then not only that, even after we cultivate the crop, by putting so much money on the crop, after cultivating, when we take the crop produce into the market, in the market the price fluctuations will be there. So this year maybe price may be good, but when we sell the produce in the next year, then that particular year again price may be very less. So fluctuations will be there, but input, as years pass by, the cost of cultivation, that means input whatever we are providing to the crop, that input cost will be increasing. But when we look at the market price, their fluctuations will be there, and at last farmers there won't be much benefit to the farmer. Not only that, while going for this inorganic, already I said, environmental pollution will be there in large way, not only in small way. For example, if we take nitrate accumulation in the river of Indus is happening in large quantity. So likewise, so much environmental pollution is happening throughout the world, not only in our country. Then soil degradation, already I said in the last class, soil degradation is happening, and also low level of government support. Government is not at all giving support. Giving support means, see, when we provide the support to the farmer should be benefited to such an extent where he can get maximum yield or income from the farm. But though government is giving some subsidies and all, but they are not working in effective way, I can say that. Then not only that, even when we look at the dryland agriculture, where the crops completely depends on rainfall. So in that particular rainfall, whenever in particular rainy season, farmer can go for particular crop. The remaining 2 seasons, like Rabi season and also in summer season, farmer cannot raise any crop. Only during the rainy season he can go for some crop. So during that time he can provide enough employment to the labor, but when he don't raise any crop, like in winter season or summer season, he cannot provide any employment to the labor. So to avoid all these, and also to make the farmer to be much benefited, we are going for the integrated farming system by involving all the available enterprises which are in the farm, by involving one another, by depending one enterprise on another enterprise. We can say component, but depending one component on another component. That means whatever the output which is coming from one component, that output should become input to the other component. Again, that particular component output should become input to the next component. Likewise, when those components are depending on one another, ultimately farmer can avoid maximum expenditure in the farm because they are depending one another. So likewise, we can improve the farm income. In dryland agriculture also, instead of going for only one season for the only crop, if we adopt some others, like we can say goat. If goat in dryland agriculture, if we go for goat, so that we call capron production. If you go for goat, then not only on the crop he can depend on, but also he can depend on the goat rearing, where he can go for selling of meat and he can get some money out of which. Like that he can provide the employment and also he can get some money throughout the year. So this is the way how we can depend on the farming system. So now let us see the advantages of integrated farming system. The first one is productivity. Productivity means, hope you all know the difference between the area production and productivity. In especially crop production subject we read area production productivity, but still I want to see the meaning of area production productivity. Area means, for example, let us take an example of state. So here area means the entire area of that particular state. Out of, for example, Tamil Nadu is there. Tamil Nadu 13 million hectares is the total land area, 13 million hectares, out of which some amount of area is allotted for the rice where farmers are raising. So for example, let us take some 6 million hectares of land area is cultivated under rice crop. That is called area. Area under rice crop is some 6 million hectares. Then when we look at the production means out of the 6 million hectares, how many tonnes of rice is produced. That's called production. The total quantity of rice is produced. That is called production. But when we look at the productivity means the average yield of a unit area, that means, for example, take in state wise we consider as per hectare yield. So average yield per hectare of that particular crop in that particular state is called productivity. So area means total area of that particular crop. Production means total yield of entire land area in tonnes is called production. Productivity means in that land area when we take it an average, what is the and average yield of per hectare is called productivity. So productivity, the advantage of productivity in farming system means all throughout the year. For example, let us take crop. During the crop season, crop will be giving some yield, that will be giving some money to the farmer. Not only that, then another enterprise, like for example, I am growing rice crop. In rice crop I am raising the rice, on which I am raising poultry also, and because we are keeping standing water in the rice field, in the water I am releasing some fishes. So fishes also will feed on the weeds of the rice crop. In such a way, fishes will help by managing the weeds in the rice crop, and fishes also will grow. So fishes are depending on weeds of the rice field, and the water which is present in the rice field can be utilized by the fishes. And not only that, in the rice field itself, by having small house upon the crop, like some 5 feet height or above the cropped field, there we establish the poultry. So whatever the poultry they feed on, that poultry droppings will be in the field, and those droppings can become nutrition to the crop. So likewise they are depending one another, so by which we can avoid application of some fertilizers to some extent. Then these fishes, after they grow, we can sell them, and these chicks also, whatever we are raising in the poultry, we can get egg production, and also after their life cycle finish, then we can go for selling them for the meat purpose. And on the other hand, we are getting rice crop. So likewise they are depending one another. So this is the productivity. That means within the available land area, maybe the land area is very less, but that land area we are using effectively to get maximum yield. That's why productivity is one of the best advantage of farming system. Then profitability. So when we go for good production, and when we are involving different enterprises into the particular unit, then ultimately we will get more profit. If you go for only one crop instead of going for different things doing together, then that particular crop alone will be giving some yield. But when we go for different components, then every component will be giving the income to the farmer. So ultimately farmer will be benefited much more than the single component. Then potentiality means, here we can say sustainability. So we are avoiding external input. That means from outside we are not getting any inorganic fertilizers or chemicals, whatever it may be. Slowly we are avoiding, because we are depending on other sources which are available in the farm. So slowly what will happen, we are improving the soil structure, soil texture, soil health, and also we are not polluting the environment. Likewise sustainability will be there, that potential. That means we are increasing the potential of the soil, and also we are improving the soil, climate also. Then the next one is balanced food. If we look at the balanced food, see nowadays, though rich people can depend on all types of food because they are financially well settled, but when we look at the farmers, so some of the farmers children and all, they are facing malnutrition problem. Malnutrition problem means they are not getting enough nutrition to their own children, even themselves also, because they don't have enough food, different kinds of food to satisfy their own body. So when we go for involving different components here, so I am saying that we are involving the crop, we are involving poultry or fishery or piggery or goat farming or sheep farming, whatever is there here, from the rice crop, from the produce. In the rice, what will be there? Especially carbohydrate will be there, and minerals will be there, and protein will be there. So likewise, we are getting some minerals and protein, whatever it may be, from the rice crop. And when we go for egg production or meat, by depending on that we can get protein and also vitamins. So likewise, we are depending on different things. By involving different components, we can get different kinds of food to the own farmer family. So likewise, he can maintain the balanced food in his own family. Then pollution free, already just now I said, pollution free environment he can maintain by avoiding all the inorganic chemicals or fertilizers, whatever it may be, by avoiding. Then recycling means whatever, see for example, let me say, after we harvest the rice crop, see here I am giving all the time wetland model where we go for rice crop. I am not taking any other model, only rice crop I am discussing as an example. So here, after we harvest the rice crop, straw will be there. With that straw, if you have cattle, the straw means the leftover stem part we call straw, the cum. So that straw, after we harvest the grain, the leftover straw, if we have cattle, we can feed to the cattle, or else what can we do? We can go for mushroom culture. Mushroom means paddy straw mushroom, one of the type of the mushroom called paddy straw mushroom. There we can go for paddy straw mushroom, where we use the paddy straw for producing mushroom. Likewise, we can recycle the paddy straw, and the leftover crop stubble, after we finish the crop, we can go for plowing, and that can be incorporated into the soil, and that will become manure for the upcoming crop. Likewise, we can recycle one component output, everything should be recycled by depending on another component. So this is all about recycling. Then the seventh one is money round the year. Money round the year means throughout the year farmer should get money, whatever he is doing the efforts. Every time, it's not that only Kharif season he should get money, or Rabi season he should get money, or summer season, because he's not going seasonal cropping, but he's going throughout the year, he's doing something in the field. That's why we call farming system. He's involving in some system. Every day he'll be doing the work, so every time he should be able to get the money out of the farm. He should be getting money. So how he can get? During the cropping season, after he harvests the crop, he will get the money. Not only that, when he raises the chicks, I mean hen, then from that egg production will be there, from that he'll get money, and by selling the chicks or hen, he'll be getting the money. And fish production will be there, where he will be rearing the fishes in the rice field. There by selling the fish he can get money. And likewise, by depending on all these, he can get money. If he's having cattle, throughout the year, as long as they give milk, so by selling the milk he can get the money. Likewise, he'll be getting the money throughout the year. Then the eighth one is adoption of new technology. In farming system, technology is very important, because nowadays farmers no lack of technology. We have to train them in such a way that where they can use technology effectively. Whatever the technology is there, the technology should be implemented in the farmer's field. That's we call lab to field. Whatever technology has come out, the technology has to be introduced to the farmer. But in India, the problem with the technology is every farmer cannot adopt the technology. The reason, if we compare with Australia or any other country where farmers are having 100 hectares together, that means they are very big farmers, and they are able to buy any kind of machinery. Even if you see some farmers, they'll be having helicopter where they go for spraying of pesticides by helicopter to the entire land. So if you go and search in the YouTube, you can know how they will be spraying the pesticides to the entire crop, but without involvement of man. Just they'll fill the tanks, and with one person they'll be taking the helicopter and entire crop at a time, they'll be giving the pesticide. But because why are they giving? Because farmers are well settled and they are able to buy high expenditure machinery into their field and they are able to use them effectively. But when we think about our own country, most of the Indian country farmers, around 80% of the Indian farmers are small farmers where they cannot afford high amount for the machinery to buy. So the technology, though we have technology, but we are unable to take the technology into field because of the lack of funds. So here government may take some steps to help the farmers. Then the next one is solve energy crisis. Solve energy crisis means, if you look at here, in the future around 2030 we are going to face so much problem about the energy. That energy means nothing but for the fuel purpose or the for, see, gas is there, commercial gas or domestic gas, whatever it may be. In future we are degrading of natural resources, so we have to involve in some other way, we have to get the natural resources. So by involving in integrated farming system, we can bring out the biogas. Biogas means we know about the methane. By whatever the cow dung is there, cow dung can be kept in aerobic condition in biogas plant, and from that we can get biogas for the cooking purpose. Though we may not get effective energy, but to some extent we can get energy, so that we can avoid some energy from the outsource by producing our own energy. Then the next one is solve fodder crisis. Solve fodder crisis means, here most of the farmers, though they have cattle, but they may not have enough land area. Though they have enough land area, but they do not know how to use effectively to solve all the problems which are arising from the field. So when we have some perennial fodder crops, maybe trees, then that particular fodder can be fed to the cattle. That those fodder trees we should not plant wherever we want, but all around the bunts of the field or as like borders, we can raise the fodder trees where we can use that particular fodder or tree leaves to feed the cattle. Or when we raise the crop, we can go for integrated farming, in which you go for double cropping or mixed cropping, where in between you can go for some pulse crop. So like cowpea, for example, cowpea can be fed to the cattle. So likewise we can manage the thing when we go for farming system. This is a very good advantage for farming system. The next one is solve fuel and timber crisis. Here the important blank. See, timber and fuel crisis, it's all about the forest, timber purpose. So nowadays government has given so many policies and laws to conserve the forest. Though they have given so many rules or policies, but still people, those who are in need of wood or timber, in illegal way they will go and cut the forest trees and they will be bringing to their own villages, and secretly they will be doing. But officially in India or in every country, they have to maintain forest area 33% out of total area of that particular country. In our country, we should maintain 33% of land area under forest. But as of now, we are having only 23% of forest area, 23 to 24% of forest area. Still, we are around 10% less in our total land area of forest. So, and also not only that, forests are giving around 1% of total central government, whatever the money they are getting as taxes or whatever it may be. So in GDP from forest, they are getting income only 1% out of forest, but they have to maintain 33% of land area under forest. That's why we are going for afforestation, reforestation. So likewise we can improve the forest area day by day. Then the next one is avoid degradation of forest. So here this is important. We have to avoid degradation of forest. Degradation means what? We are cutting down the forest. So we have to avoid that. How can we avoid those things? Why we need to avoid first degradation of forest? That is a quick question. So when rain comes, you all know the meaning of runoff, soil erosion and all. So when we raise the forest land area, the forestry roots will help to stop runoff and soil erosion, and ultimately we can preserve the soil fertility. See, in India, the another important blank is here. In India, from every 1 hectare land area of agricultural land area, we are losing 16 tons of topmost layer through water erosion. I'm repeating, in India, from every agricultural land area per hectare per year, through rains or water, it may be through soil erosion, we are losing 16 tons per hectare in a year. We are losing topmost fertile soil from one field. When rain comes, along with the rainwater, some amount of soil will be washed away from the field, and that water that we may be going to the river or some other places, and farmer is the one who is losing the topmost fertile soil. But the limited or the allowed soil erosion is only 6 tons, but we are losing around 16 tons, 12 to 16 tons we are losing based on the land elevation. It will be land position, it will be. Then here the last one is employment generation. Employment generation, already I said, when we are producing the output throughout the year by involving different components, we can provide employment to the labor throughout the year, so that they will be benefited because of the farmer. So this is about the employment generation. The next advantage is improves literacy. Improve literacy means it's all about the knowledge of the farmer. When we involve different component by poultry or piggery or fishery or forestry or any other component, by involving all these with the agriculture crops, so farmer will know how to depend one component on another component. He will learn, and all farmer also will have the confidence as days pass by. Okay, if we do in such a way, it will be effectively work on the other component. So he will be improving his own knowledge. That improves literacy. Then the next one is provide opportunity to agri-oriented industries. See, when we produce so much, see, in a village, for example, let us say some 20 farmers are going for that particular farming system, and they are depending on, I am telling just components, 3 or 4 components which are depending one another, as I said earlier, rice and poultry and fishery. So these 3 are doing one another, and when he get good poultry out yield, and also from the fishery also, when he get more number of fishes, so they will be selling into the market. So when 20 farmers are gathering together, and the output will be in big. So when they have big output, then ultimately it will provide an opportunity to start any small scale agriculture industry to sell the produce into the consumers from through market. The small scale industry we can create. That also one of the good opportunity. So here that is another good advantage also. Then the next one is increase input efficiency. See, input is there. If I have 12 tons of farmland manure, if I don't use effectively, what is the use? But when that particular component is there, so whatever the output is there, that output I can use effectively by putting into the another component. For example, I have only cattle, but I don't have the crop, though I have land area, but I am not growing any crop. So whatever the cow dung which I am getting from the cattle, just I am dumping at one particular place, and I am not using for any reason. But instead of keeping the land empty or barren, I am growing one crop in that particular land. So whatever the dumped cow dung is there, that will be turned to the farmland manure. That manure can be applied to the field, so that output whatever is there has come out from the cattle, that can be used to the field for the cropping purpose. So that output can be effectively and efficiently we can use for the cropping system. So one output can be effectively used into the another component. That is called increase input efficiency. Then the last one is improves the standard of living of farmer. So nowadays most of the farmers may feel that I am inferior than any other person because I am financially poor. But when he goes this kind of integrated farming system, by doing effectively, wisely, he will be getting money throughout the year, and slowly economically he will stabilize. His family will get stabilized. He will have his own well established house. His children can be studied in good schools and in good colleges, and he can have some confidence over on him that I can do, I am well settled now. So when he goes out, he can go with full confidence and he can face the society instead of looking for the some credits from the people or from the banks. So likewise, we can improve the standard of living of farmer in the society. He can feel that I am also equal to the rest of the world. I am also one of the superior person in the rest of the world because I am doing my own. These are the few, around some 17 advantages I have said. These are the advantages. This is very important question in integrated farming system as an essay question. Please do prepare and get ready. They may ask for the exam. Is scope of integrated farming system. So here if we look at the scope of integrated, in the last class I already explained what are the important things which comes under scope that you can go through. And the last one, advantages of sustainable farming system. So integrated farming system and sustainable farming system more or less same, but integrated means by integrating or involving different components to get good yield. But sustainable farming system means by involving so many enterprises to get good yield or income by thinking of future generations. Sustainable means for the long time. For the future also we have to maintain soil health, and also we have to maintain the water quality and environmental free pollution. So these are the few points we have to keep in mind, and accordingly we have to go for the farming system. If you go for sustainable farming system, what are the advantages? Let us see. The first one is effective and efficient utilization of resources available in the field. So whatever the resources which are available in the field, those resources should be effectively utilized. Then we can get maximum yield. Not only that, the resources which we are using all are organic. So they will improve the soil fertility, and also they will improve the environmental conditions also. That means environment, whatever the damage so far if we caused, again slowly we can restore. Then next one is completely they will depend on one another, on one ecosystem to the other ecosystem, and ultimately we can get maximum yield by avoiding completely external inputs. So by avoiding fertilizers and depending on organic manure. So externally we are avoiding all the inputs that actually what we are giving now. Then the next one is manage pests, diseases and weeds in the field instead of controlling. The difference between the controlling and managing means we are not, though they are coming, but they should not affect your cropping. But controlling means they will come and completely we will be controlling them. We are not allowing them to come. But here managing means though they may come, we have to manage them. By the way, they should not attack or they should not bring any damage to the crop. To such an extent we will be managing. So there won't be any loss or there won't be any gain from controlling weeds. So likewise we have to manage. Then the next one is shifts from nutrient management to recycling of nutrients. That means, see for example, if we are applying any herbicide, in any nutrient like SSP, MOP or urea, once if we apply this year, that urea or whatever it may be, the fertilizer will be lost in the soil or through volatilization, whatever it may be. And when we go for next year season cropping, and that year also again we have to apply. But when we go for organic nutrients like manures, there this year if you apply any manure, that manure will be retained in the soil for the upcoming year also. So that is the very good advantage out of sustainable farming system. Then next one is it preserves and rebuilds soil fertility and prevents soil erosion. How, when we go for organic way, how can it prevent soil erosion? Means by building the soil structure, by building the soil texture, and also this system something like permanent one, throughout there it will be running. So and also if you go for forestry system, that means forestries, if you involve in the farming system in dryland areas especially, those forestry roots will act as soil binders and also they will act as a anti-erosion. So erosion resistant trees they will become. That means whatever the erosion actually happening, by their roots they will stop the erosion. And also the next one is it has minimal negative effects to the environment. So because we are not using any chemicals, that is very clear. Then the next one is whatever though sometimes we may depend on some chemicals, but you have to depend on those chemicals in judicious way. That means in proper way. How much amount of fertilizer that you have to apply, that amount only have to apply. You should not apply excess amount, or you should not apply less amount than what required or recommended. So accordingly you have to go. Then whatever the ecosystem it is there, that ecosystem should increase themselves, that means dependence on one another, and the surrounding area also, whatever the ecosystem is there, that should be continued. Your cropping system or farming system should not affect the surrounded environment. So likewise we have to take the steps. These are the few advantages of sustainable farming system. Hope you all are noting down the points which I am saying, the important points. So this is all about the today's lecture, the advantages of integrated farming system and scope of integrated farming system that I have explained in the previous lecture. Please go through and note down the points which I have explained, and please once again recall them. Then the last one is advantages of sustainable farming system. So these are the three topics which are important from this lecture.